Hello and welcome back once again to the Mars Mission News Network, bringing you the latest news from LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed. Today I'm bringing you a slew of snippets from today's recent Q&A, which is the Space Q&A, also a general Q&A. It brings you information about our two next updates, the Space Update and the Raids Update, because yes, it does look like those will be two separate updates. But to start us off, we have a little introduction here from WAF, mentions some of the people that are actually answering the questions, although I believe we do actually have a fifth one. I guess they weren't expected to be able to make it, but a Basil the Batlord Gameloft showed up and was answering some questions, so if you see another person, that's who that is. But we start us off, we have A-Box giving us this kind of overview of the Space Update. Space is the reworked frontier. Plug and play your space heroes to shut down synergies and overcome any team in the galaxy. See, Space is a Swiss Army knife, but in space. The core of Space is about crowd control and shutting synergies down. Then each sub-tag acts as a plug and play specialty to overcome your foe. As a result, each sub-tag actually also works well as plug and play in teams with the same purpose. Identify your enemy's strength and assemble the right space combination to punish them. Alien, Gorwell, and Locust focuses on anti-taunt. Blacktron, Dwayne, and Unknown Minifigure number 1 focuses on punishing foes with buffs. Classic Space, Spaceman Reed. And Unknown Minifigure number 2 focuses on speed and pep manipulation. Ice Planet, Commander Cold, and Dr. Keller focuses on punishing off-turn actions. And Techie, Catastrophe, and Unknown Minifigure number 2 focuses on anti-stealth. I think that's just kind of a leftover piece of text there. So from this we will get another classic space minifigure who also will be tagged as Techie to give, I guess, the Galaxy Explorers, I think, skill 4 that does something with Techie, give them a little bit more use there. Blacktron, we'll get another Blacktron minifigure. I mean, this is all stuff we know from data leaks or data mines, I believe. Blacktron is Quincy, and that's from Blacktron 2 / Blacktron Future Generations. And the new classic Spaceman is something Slate, Jade Slate, something like that. It's a black suited classic space minifigure. Well, there's something interesting to note here, because currently Gorwell, I guess, kind of does some anti-taunt stuff. They can like mock somebody to be attacked. Locust currently cannot. Dwayne, I don't know if he actually has many focuses on punishing people with buffs, but I don't really use Dwayne enough to know. Reed, yeah, they do that. Commander Cold and Dr. Kelvin focusing on punishing off-turn actions. They can kind of do a little bit of slow with some stun stuff, but I'm not 100% sure what all that means, but I don't think they really do that much of that right now. And Catastrophe does do some anti-stealth stuff. So that is some interesting things there. They do want them, each of the sub-themes, to be their own kind of team that you can slide into other teams, because they can still perform well there and not have, I guess, the rest of the team all be space like some of the pirate stuff is. But maybe kind of think of it as like Willa and Basil, how they work well together, but you don't necessarily need like a rest of the team for them. I guess also Magisto, Barnabas / Brutus and Gogo, how there's like some synergies there together, and then of course there's the Castle Trio. I guess this kind of supposed to work similar to that. These are plug and play options. You can just drop them into another team. Like, okay, you'll be putting a whole bunch of buffs, or the foes will have a whole bunch of buffs where you drop in the 2 Blacktron minifigures into your team, or something like that. So that does sound kind of cool. But by far the coolest thing, and the thing I know you are most interested in, yes, Poppy is getting a rework. They have confirmed that Poppy is getting a rework, and it's coming in the Space Update. There was a question about why is Poppy getting a rework in the Space Update. Like, I don't think anybody's upset she's getting a rework, but it's kind of shocking. But they hired a new person, and they let them redesign a minifigure, or an existing minifigure, as like a test job or something. They did such a good job, they wanted to make that the official rework and wanted to push it as soon as possible, which sounds pretty cool. Really excited for them. They also reworked some of the other Space minifigures, or helped with it, so I'm hoping that's good. But I mean, I guess we won't really know until we see the Poppy stuff, but I'm hoping all of those reworks will be pretty good, and I like that they were so impressive they decided to just go ahead and use their work now immediately. Also, she still heals and she uses courage tokens now, so she's going to be working with courage, which will be kind of interesting, and I guess even more use with the fire station now. Really curious to see what that does. I don't know, maybe that makes like the more courage stacks, the more she heals, maybe the better chance she has of reviving or something. That could be kind of cool. Gives you an alternative with City to Roar. But the next big thing is Primo is back next week, so I'm assuming next Friday, which is next Friday is the 4th, if I remember correctly. I think that is my birthday, actually. So that'll be cool. I'm having Primo release on my birthday, if I'm remembering the date correctly. But he is coming back very soon, next week. Get your castle minifigures ready. And they normally like to do stuff on Fridays, start the event, so I'm saying most likely next Friday. And then, of course, there's some questions about when will the update drop. It's in QA right now. It's a bit delayed, so the next couple of weeks. Patch notes are likely next week. They're hopeful next week, but it's to be confirmed. WAF is working on it still right now. They ideally want the patch notes to come out a week or so before the update, so even if it is ready, or the patch notes are ready next week, if it's not going to be maybe 2-3 weeks before the update's ready, they might hold off on that. But he wants it to be mid to late next week, so we'll have those patch notes as another video, hopefully in about a week. As the next up, we have the reworks section. There's lots of stuff about reworks, although kind of a biggest thing in this update is reworks. I mean, more so than new figs. Literally every single space hero, with the exception of Spaceman Reed, is getting reworks. Some reworks are big and some are small. And they want to know if how that's going to work if they only have access to one healer in space. And Ralph responded with an emote of Kelvin, so I guess they're now a new space healer. And then there is something down here at the bottom. People want to know how much they're getting done. This thing's kind of dependent. Some characters need more, some need less. Just kind of basic general stuff. Like no definitives, like this one took a lot, this one took a little bit. Locust and Goldwell already good, not getting nerfed, are they? They have been reworked, but to be better fit our direction for the space meta. They are still good / better, which is good. Well, I'm okay with Goldwell how they are now. They could probably stay the same. I don't have them, so I can't really judge them too well, but they feel solid. Locust, I was actually for getting a rework because, like, he's decent, but he doesn't really fit his role good. I'm sorry, he does not fit his role good. He sucks as a tank. He's like a decent support, but he doesn't really. I mean, he has a good buff and AOE damage, but that's kind of it. Like, I would like to have like maybe a little bit more support, or even be more of a tank or something like that. So I'm really curious to see how they do all that stuff with them, especially because we anti-taunt. So that would be very interesting. Then there's just stuff here about what the niches be for the different space sub-themes. A number of these space sub-themes have particular combat focus. Blacktron focuses on punishing buffs. Alien does some anti-tank, just some. Ice Planet focuses on punishing foes that counter, assist, bonus attack. So they're kind of your anti-pirates and anti-castle, which is interesting that they're both of them. Classic Space focuses on speed and pep, and Techie focuses on anti-stealth. At least the Techie within the space, because there's also other Techie heroes. And then just some questions about how it was to redesigning everything. I mentioned that it's hard to keep a whole bunch of different things in mind, campaigns, arena, and bricks when doing a rework. Sometimes you have to pick one to be the main focus. Like it's like balancing difficulty. Then we have what space sub-themes have full team support. Space is a bit more mix and match, and themes like Blacktron and Ice Planet are somewhat limited. Think of space more like a Swiss Army knife that can adapt to multiple scenarios. Example, you might want to bring Ice Planet instead of Blacktron 1 and 2 because this strategy is better for whichever battle you are on. So like if you're fighting pirates, they're not going to be that high on buffs, but they're going to have lots of counters, so you want to bring, I guess, Ice Planet. If you're fighting Castle, you actually might want both of them. I mean, there are going to be lots of counters and stuff there, but Blacktron also punishes people with a whole bunch of debuffs, depending on, the whole bunch of buffs, and Castle can get a whole bunch of buffs. I mean, payback, taunts everywhere. Go-Go, I think, gives himself 5 or 6 different buffs on taunt. Brutus, I think, gives 4 or 5, one of those that Go-Go doesn't have, so I think I can give him like 7 buffs. I'm sure some anti-buff attacks would be good against that, assuming that, of course, it's actually good. The Swiss Army knife approach kind of confirmed that some factions don't necessarily get healers. Yes, if every faction could heal, half the space team would be healers. So not everybody's going to have a healer, so I guess like Blacktron probably won't have a healer. Space might not, well not Space, Aliens might not have a healer. I mean, it depends if they change about Gorewell. Classic Space won't, stuff like that, which I think is kind of interesting, but they're kind of one of the weirder factions of having a whole bunch of sub-factions. Will Space counter pirates, and more importantly Ninjago, depends on who you use. How you use the Space Swiss Army knife strategy, so some people will be good, some people won't, but I mean, I guess that's kind of to be understood. And the Space still in consideration, get an anti-healing debuff, look forward to the patch notes. And we'll be getting the kits for the new characters in the patch notes, so hopefully by like next Friday, we'll know who does what and all that kind of stuff. That's going to be a long video, but that's going to be an interesting one. Or at least one I'm actually interested in, I guess phrase it that way. You might not care, but I certainly do. I like space. Will Dr. Kelvin be getting ultimate? No. How did Commander Cold change with the update? He's colder. For real though, he's getting stronger direct synergy with Kelvin. And when there's a Forbidden Island enough happening, Redbeard is annoying me. You need some chill characters on your team to deal with Redbeard's... deal with all those extra attacks. So chill is going to be anti-Redbeard, or at least it's supposed to be. Because Ghostbusters is also anti-Ninjago or anti-stealth, and that's... I've heard mixed things about that, but it doesn't seem to be as great as anybody was hoping. And then we have any other non-space reworks in the update, just the Paramedic Poppy one. So if you're looking for any other non-space figs to get reworked, none of them are getting that. So I just wanted to give you both of these is nothing besides Paramedic Poppy. And next up we have just asking about the new minifigures. There's going to be one new space hero added with the space update, and another one coming in the near future. You might be able to see him in Heroes list when this update is released. The new minifigures unbox a brick price, a bit of both. And how many new space characters are there in total? Just the two, and the reworks of most of the other characters. So I think 6 out of the 7 characters are getting reworked of the ones already existing, and we're getting 2 new characters, so kind of getting 8 new characters, which is kind of interesting. Will there be an unlockable minifigure from the raids? Yes, one minifigure already available, but hard to get, will be more accessible with the raid. One other minifigure, a Keystone to Space, will also be an exclusive reward to the raid. He's not playable yet in Space Update, but you'll be able to see him already. How many new space characters in total then? Just 2. 2 characters, reworks the existing ones, but read. And the Space Update also brings a new collectible, who is a good plug and play with space as well. So we're getting a new collectible hero, although new there might need to be in kind of quotation marks, because it might not actually be new, based off one of the other tidbits of information we get. Is a new collectible space as well, with other collectible minifigures, get other tags. He's not space per se, but works as a plug and play with them. See the cross themes he posted in the first post is follow this logic. So I guess it's kind of like, let's say it's another techie minifigure, but the Galaxy Explorer has some stuff in there for techie heroes, so you might want to put him on that team with the 2 classic space minifigures because he synergizes well because he's techie. I guess also think maybe like DigiJ with his dragon having some like techie stuff, so kind of like it's not a space, or it's not space because he's not a space minifigure. He could be a space collectible minifigure, but that doesn't mean he's actually space themed, like Haiku's not city theme, or fitness instructor isn't city theme, that sort of thing. So it may or may not be a space minifigure from collectible minifigures. And then we have, does a new space character have an ultimate? The future incoming space hero will have an ultimate, so the one from the raid. One from the new minifigures is slated to be released. So that's Quincy, who is the, if I remember correctly, the Blacktron minifigure. I'm asking, of course, when does Clockwork Robot come? And his unbox is coming this update. So this over here about one other collectible minifigure who's good in plug and play with space. Clockwork Robot is a techie hero, and he does some speed stuff, so he might be the one he's referring to, or he may not be, so I don't know. Leave that up to you. We might get 2 new unboxed. I guess I don't like unboxed events too much, but at least we're getting something new, so that would be kind of good. And then another wins, none such, very soon, so some kind of cool stuff there. These 2 other unreleased figs, I think, are the only other 2 unreleased figs in the game right now, like game. So that's kind of cool. Some stuff about sets, asking about the spy tracker will be updated or just fit in design-wise. With this rework, the focus was on our heroes. We'll keep an eye on how these sets are working with them and reevaluate if we need to. Personally feel like they're holding off do anything really with that set until they can put in Space Police, which they maybe were planning on doing Space Police, but they couldn't do Primo for a while because of the police stuff, so they might put that on the back burner. And yes, we are getting Primo next week, but they might actually stop designing the new Space Police minifigure, and Primo was already designed, so it's easy to just play that whenever. That one might have been a whole lot more on the back burner. I'm not saying that's truth, but that's kind of the way I see it. They might be waiting to do anything with that to actually get in some Space Justice fix. Will the existing space sets get some love? Perhaps new ones will be added. There is a new set too. It's a question whether the Lego house will be available outside of the early event. It's a good question. They just put it onto their list to add it to one of the stores, and they'll ask if there was any preferences, and I don't think anybody really had any. So we might be getting a Lego house in one of the stores, which would be kind of cool, because I'd actually like to get that set up a little bit higher, because I think the max you can get it is 3 stars, and that's if you did that launch day event when the game actually launched, because I think that gave you enough set to get up to like 3 stars, 3.5 stars, something like that. Otherwise, I think you just have it at 2 stars. Then we have some more brick paste stuff, where you continue the trend of multiple character sets in brick paste events. I assume the space set will be available in a brick paste. Yes, the next brick paste has 2 characters in a set, but before you get too excited, yes, this is where you will be able to get Blacktron 2, so the Blacktron Quincy, and Alpha Centauri Outpost, which is the set. Also some Blacktron 1 tiles too, so you'll be able to get Dwayne, Quincy, the new Blacktron minifigure, which they haven't like officially announced, but somebody kind of knows it because of the data leaks, so they didn't really tell too much about it. I guess it's not data leak, data mines, it's not a data leak. The Alpha Centauri set, which I believe is the name of the Blacktron set, and that's most likely the one laying there in a pile in the space neighborhood. So this isn't going to be another like Lay or Ghostbusters brick paste with multiple things. It's just saying that this one is going to be themed around the Blacktron theme, so that's going to be what's in the store. Hopefully we have some other things as well. Although, I don't know, maybe there's going to be a node in there for Dwayne. I don't know, maybe he's just going to have a random HUD node or something, I don't know. And they're at least going to be adding in the set in there. I don't know if that means the set will only be available from there. They're going to put it in other places eventually too. But as of right now, that's going to be in there. And hopefully that might be a sign that some of these themed sets will be available there. Like, let's say if Jay got a rerun, if we get Cyber Dragon in there with him, that will help speed things along a lot quicker for that set, so if I just get it from bricks. Or then we could also maybe get like Ice Glider and Ice Station Odyssey in the Yeti Chill brick pass, and that would be really cool. It would add some more things to the shop too. And there's just, why would you release a brick paste adding in so many hero sets in one event? You're forcing us not to get anything done. It's free to play, only whales will truly enjoy you releasing 3 new farms at a single event, and they're all new this time. This was posted like within seconds of that other one up there, so they didn't have time like to read that one when that one was posted. So they aren't all new this time, so they're not just shoving in new things exclusive to this brick paste. At least they're claiming not to. I think at most it would be 2, but hopefully that's not too hard, and I don't know what they're going to be doing with the set as of right now. They didn't mention that. Now the single character focused brick face events dead. They are not dead. They were always trying to make tweaks to the brick face events, so they're always kind of tweaking them. I will say, as I said in the stream whenever they posted this, I wish they would kind of stop tweaking them and just stick to one format. I think that's one thing that kind of pisses people off, is the expectations they have for these events based off of previous ones, and then the event was tweaked and doesn't match the previous format. So there's some interesting stuff there. I mean, I guess making it better is good, but it feels like it's weird they're always like adding and removing stuff to the shop and kind of tweaking it around, subverting expectations. And expectations isn't maybe the most fairest way to judge a release, but you expect there to be some type of pattern or whatever there. Then moving on, this was some more stuff about the raid. I was just asking about that. It was just because they were saying the raid will be giving a fig from that, and I was like, okay, is the fig actually going to be the Blacktron fig? And I'm like, okay, could it mean Blacktron's raiding this Pip Town, and that's who we're fighting? The raid boss is not Blacktron themed, and the reward is not the Blacktron fig, so that would mean it would have to be the classic space fig as the reward of the raid. And then to answer the connection between space and raids, the first raid is space themed. The story is about Gorwell taking over minifigures and attacking Pip Town. And then how will we open the raid? Ticket system based on guild quests, only time requirements, always open. It will be related to the daily guild quest. No idea what all that exactly means. They never really expanded upon that. Hopefully we'll get that soon. But that is for the next update, kind of after the space update. That's for the raids update in particular, so they might not have all that finalized yet. Also, as the way I can tell from some of this stuff, there's lots of things that aren't fully finalized yet that you kind of would expect to be at this point. And here's Little Wooden Boy with what they have on raids so far. It is the whole guild, obviously. There will be multiple difficulty tiers, although they will probably launch with one or two. They haven't decided yet. The theme is Gorwell invading. The theme is Gorwell is invading Pip Town with her minions. Don't know exactly what her minions are, but probably just like mind-controlled people. The structure is a 4-node fight, not linear. They think one is locked behind one other one, but I guess you might have 3 available to challenge whenever. There is a raid boss, not a minifigure, not collectible, so I guess raid only. I'm hoping it's going to be the tripod I mentioned in yesterday's Space Raid concept video, which I kind of almost want to redo now. Now that I actually know more information about what the raids are going to be, well, I guess I don't really know too much more information, honestly. I might go back and redo that at some point. And you'll get rewards based on your individual contribution. It is coming ASAP. They are hard at work on it right now. And here's kind of a double part question here. Will you make more time quests with Garmadon tiles as a reward? And also, will raids be on nodes like in map? For part 1, nothing is off the table. For part 2, 4 nodes, but non-linear, so you can tackle them based on what you got. So I guess maybe like one's pirates enemies, one's castle enemies, one's Ninjago enemies, and oh, I have a good team that counts as pirates, so you can go there and fight them. Maybe there's different rewards for each, but there's different nodes there with, I guess, different enemies on them. You can choose which one to attack based off what you have. At least that's the idea. Also, will raids be more like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes or Marvel Strike Force? Well, Marvel Strike Force is just normal fights on a global map, so no. But we're also not linear like the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes phases. Trying to do our own thing, which I think is good. Don't make it just exact like kind of copy of somebody else's. And there's a question here, same question answered by somebody different, is closer to Star Wars with some influence from Marvel Strike Force. And what mechanics are being added to Raid Boss to make them more epic / strategic than a typical 5v5. They don't want to give away much right now, but there are a few new mechanics, which I mean should be kind of good. I mean, it might be some immunities or something. There's like one big boss. Maybe they have ads, maybe they don't. I don't know, though. Just a boss enemy would be a new ad anyways. Overall, kind of interested to look at that. And here we have, do raids have their own building, or they're part of a guild building, or the event sign? They are part of the guild building. They got a thumbs down, but I'm kind of okay with that. I don't know if the raids need their own building. I guess it also depends how frequent raids are going to be. Are raids like an always going thing, or like one of like the monthly events each time or something? And they're asking if raids have a shop or loot pool. There is no raid shop, so you just get rewards. Will there be any guild rewards on top? What they're building right now has fight-based rewards for beating thresholds on each node, and a reward at the end for beating the raid. So I don't know what exactly that is. Like maybe you beat each of the nodes 10 times, but you get the rewards. Maybe you get rewards once you beat the node. You beat the node X number of times, and then for how far you and your whole guild got in, I'm not 100% sure about all that. Would love a little bit more information about this, but sadly we did not get it. But it sounds like some of this stuff is still in the works. And this question, will Goldwell be farmable? Raids will make Goldwell easier to get. Will Katasuki and Goldwell be farmable? Katasuki will still be in the Master Shop, and Goldwell will become more easily accessible with raids. I guess you may get some tiles from it. Or maybe you just get, Master Currency wouldn't let you buy Goldwell, but I was thinking like, maybe they just even straight up give you Master Currency or something. That'd be kind of cool, but Goldwell's not there. And you by chance see the question about the raid reward then. The first raid reward is a new minifigure. So that is that classic space minifigure. I don't know how far you have to get in the raid, how many like tiles do you get, does everybody kind of get some, and how far you go gives you more. I don't know, wish they would expand upon that a little bit better. Also some stuff was asking when a raid, something to spend gold on, level 60 get 7 win, because some people who are like older wells don't have many things to spend money on because they've already like leveled everything. But next update will also come with a level 60 level cap increase to 60 and new gear cap increase to gear 7. As I say, just clarifying level 60 and gear 7. And is there a campaign expansion with the gear and level upgrade? No, they are integrated into current nodes, so you'll be just, I guess, crafting with the current gear. Maybe you need a whole lot more fancy pieces than you did originally. So that's going to be kind of expensive, but should be kind of fun. There'll be some good increases there. And asking here, of course, is Gear 7 farmable? It's all farmable. None of it's going to be from raids, or at least according to this, nothing will be explicitly required from raids, but you might still maybe get some gear from there or something. Might be nice to get just some random fancy gear every now and then. And then we'll see more campaign nodes in the coming level 60 increase. Nope, the focus right now is filling out the minifigure set roster and getting events built. So we're not going to be seeing, I guess, new campaign nodes for a while. At least that's just my impression of that. Maybe it could be like next updates or something, but that's the focus right now. And will Gear 7 be different than Gear 6 in terms of stats difficulty to get? Gear 7 will definitely be more challenging to get than Gear 6. Gear 7 is definitely, Gear 7 will definitely give players the edge stat-wise in PvP. I mean, you kind of always do that for being higher gear or whatever. And provide more sustainability in other game modes like bricks as well. And I will mention that is one question I asked multiple times was if the level increase happens, what will the new max level be in bricks, and they did not ever answer that. I mean, they answered a whole bunch of questions, they probably just didn't see it, but I would like to hear a little bit more clarification on that if I go up to level 60. Last map, level 62 ninjas should be a whole lot easier, but they might could also up that to like level 70 or something. So this should make things a little bit easier, but I don't know for how long, so you might want to look into that and doing that very quickly to benefit from it. There's some more questions about the level cap increase. That will be out when the update is out, which will be sometime in September. How much gold will it cost to raise a character from level 50 to 60? They don't think that is locked down yet. They'll have to check with the economy designer, which I think is kind of interesting. That's not locked down yet. With Gear 7, level 60 increase, we expect to have an increase in set stars, and we also expect an increase in skill level from 5 to 6. Not yet for sets and abilities, but definitely something we're thinking about for the future. They don't want to unlock everything at once. It needs some time for all the players to progress before we open a new cap. So they're just doing this a little bit for the minifigures right now, but they won't raise the skill or the set levels for right now. Any other minifigures you plan to add? Yes, space is needed for our next master event, which is a new minifigure. And I believe that is actually new. Like a full-on new minifigure. And asking, of course, will the old space figs be useful or will the new ones be mandatory? They said yes, the old ones will be useful. There was only 2 new ones, so the old heroes will be useful, which I mean, just kind of makes sense, although like Scarlet helps a whole lot with the woo. But the one thing I take kind of problem is there's only 5 free-to-play figs. 2 of them, one being in bags and Master Store, and one only being in bags. We'll have some problems there, although I believe this is supposed to run after the whole raid starts, so maybe you can actually unlock that other space minifigure, do the brick paste, do some unboxes, so you might can get some stuff a little bit up higher, but those 2 still will be kind of a little harder to get from other people, although maybe you have gold well unlocked, and I doubt you'll get enough tiles from that raid event to get gold well to 5 stars. That's just my opinion. And the upcoming minifigure, that upcoming master minifigure, is an iconic spooktacular minifigure, which I think is interesting, because like, oh, Willa. No, Willa's a master store, so she probably wouldn't be, most likely wouldn't also be in a master event. So I don't know if it's going to be like a vampire, maybe the classic ghost, I would love that, maybe the classic ghost minifigure, maybe something with monster fighters, but I think it's a little too soon to add in another theme like that, maybe some kind of like, I don't know, collectible almost or something. Something cool. I think it's gonna be somebody else from Castle. There's more spooky people from Castle possibly. But it's an iconic spooky minifigure, so really curious about that. Although I guess one of the ghosts did come in a old castle set. I believe it's actually in the castle neighborhood. There's like one of these small little side builds actually has a ghost appear every now and then. Maybe it's that one. That could be kind of cool. But that's kind of all I can really think of for iconic spooky minifigure that's not in the game yet. And all the ones we have in the game are obtainable by some means. And the new master character will be teased in this update, which might mean it might be added to the roster so you can at least see who it is or something. And the new asking, of course, will the new master event be released in September and will be released on or around Halloween, so you have like 2 more months to prepare for it to get your space minifigures up there. So I'm glad that it's giving us like a 2 months heads up there. And asking if the new events will be player friendly. Somebody joined recently, but they couldn't do anything. They just started. Yes, new players will be able to play through them, but to beat max out an event, no matter the event, it will generally require a strong team. So just kind of saying here, hey, yes, well, we might make some events, bring in new people. If you're new, you probably won't be able to finish everything. And there was one to know if anything is free to play in space or it's all pay to win. There will be grindable space minifigures that are accessible to all, which I have right now. And there's some minifigures that are harder to get via raids, master shop, events. They will all eventually be much more accessible as the game's life cycle moves on. So like nothing is actually new there. But just wanted to include that, saying they do want to make some of the harder to get minifigures apparently easier to get as the game goes on. So that's good. And then we have some old unboxed minifigures. Someone was asking if Scarlet was going to be farmable. Yes, unboxed characters, except external IPs, usually waterfall into the game. Scarlet first went to the general shop. She'll soon move to likely a game mode shop. Although I'd be happy with her being like one of the 4th map empty nodes in Monolith Waste. One of those little more costly ones. She feels kind of worth it, and it gives me an extra source of green elixirs so I can farm her for a bit. See, and then want to know when unboxed characters will become farmable in a node or in the new store. They'll make that more visible in the patch notes. Overall, so far, it took 2 to 3 months to get them in general shop, then 2 to 3 months to get to another game mode shop with campaign battle. And this was somebody was asking Scarlet to hang farmable and other unboxed, and they say check the patch notes. So we will know more once we actually get the patch notes where they'll be put. Although it kind of seems like they haven't fully decided yet. They're planning on doing it, but they just don't know fully, and they have like I guess another 2-3 weeks to do it or something, so they can decide a little bit later. And then some other event reruns. So I was asking when Wu and Jay will come back. They will be rerunning them both in the next month or so. Calendar is being finalized now. What reruns do they expect in the month of September? Primo. So I guess maybe none of the other ones will be next month. Although I mean we have a whole bunch of like new spaces stuff, and the I guess Clockwork Robot unboxed, so they're going to be, I guess, enough new stuff we may not need to rerun for just a little bit. Let's see, Wu and Jay also in September. They'll publish our event calendar. They'll come back soon. They'll be soon, but not before this update, which, I mean, obviously makes sense. And then another more questions about Wu. The Wu event will be back before Halloween, so some solid thing there. So we'll be back before Halloween, so back before the next master event that requires space. They think early October, but they are finalizing the calendar now, so all of that should be mentioned once we get the calendar. When do we get the promised event calendar? Had the call today. I think Time Quester has pushed it back a little bit. They called somebody about it. They will have space, raids, and then secrets on the calendar. And of course the calendar will be coming soon, but not before September. It's probably sometime in it. Maybe even after the patch notes. I said it'd be okay getting it after patch notes, personally. I mean, we don't know more about the events till then anyways. What quality of life changes can they expect? Arena payout times localizing. And there was a question here about quality of life improvements in the game. I'd like to be able to cancel support abilities. So like if you click on a heal and you want to cancel it, currently can you just have to heal somebody when you click on backs and everybody's at full health like I do all the time with bot. They want to do this, but that's low on the priority list. I hope they maybe do that next time though. But I mean, I'm assuming because of raids and all that stuff worked on, it was a little bit lower, unfortunately. Next in guild quality of life, they are working on some of that stuff right now, but it's planned for the raids update. So this is a message right here that made me fully realize or fully believe that the raids update and space update will be two separate ones. And I mean, that seems pretty clear here, but it could be somebody just maybe a little bit out of the loop about some of the stuff, but it makes me think we're getting a space update and then we'll get raids after the space update. It'll be sometimes halfway during the space update, but I'm assuming that means raids are not finished yet for this update and they'll add them in sometime later. It's about guilds. They want to know if the guild leaders can check contributions to the guild quests, and it's something they want. It's on the to-do list. Guild improvements we are working on right now are leader and officer changes, not getting more specific as we're trying to see what we can get done. So maybe set up some officers there. Add in leaderboards for guild dailies, and some fixes to the guild searching, which I don't know what all is actually messed up there, but they're going to fix something there too. And there was some stuff about guild chat due to raid planning. They've answered this before several Q&As, but it's still a very valid one. They'd all love to have a free chat to ease in-game communication, but LEGO doesn't allow it in the games for kid safety reasons. That being said, we have a few things we want to do to actually communicate in a safe way in-game and not link to the raids per se. Changes to Bricks Tower Awards. At least the brick shop should move. I don't know exactly what this means. I think there's a typo somewhere in here, but I'm not sure what it's supposed to mean. They still want to work on the difficulty, the rewards, and the diversity of teams you face once the raid craze is behind us. This work has already started though. And any Bricks Expedition rework, most of us are not enjoying it. We're adding in some more variety in the coming updates, and with the level and gig cap going up, we expect to be some more variety in the teams. I don't know how that exactly works. I would assume you just increase the meta teams. If you have a good arena team, you're going to raise them up as opposed to a sucky team. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly that works with that, but it's about some more variety and something, somehow. This person had a question about the overall gold earned from bricks to compensate, since the current amount of 100,000 per whatever. Please don't use caps. But overall, as caps increase, more sources of SC will be added as well. They don't think the Bricks SC is changing in this update, and Bricks is just soft currency, so gold. So they don't think the gold payout from Bricks is going to increase. So, oh boy, it's going to be fun raising those levels when the cap increases. And this person here was wanting to know about content creators. He said check your messages, I guess soon. And of course, I asked him when he's going to slide into my DMs, and he said right after this, so I should hopefully have a message sometime soon. Check in my DMs, and I do not see any WAF in my DMs. WAF, please get in my DMs. Also, some more people talking about Content Creator Program. Just that yes, we'll be doing it soon. It's supposed to be happening with the Space Update, but the Space Update might be a couple weeks out. And somebody was wondering if content creators might get early access to some events to provide feedback. And they're not sure yet, but they thought that was a good idea. So, might be some interesting things there. Some people would ask about some third-party IP stuff about Star Wars and Marvel. Is that anything is possible? Somebody was asking if there's a new collab IP like Ghostbusters coming sometime before the end of the year or early 2021, and they said yes, so we should be getting another one before the end of the year, or I guess maybe early next year, but that's kind of sooner than I was expecting personally. They're asking if there will be new city characters in the near future, and they said not this year, so we're not getting any more city characters. So the amount of times I asked for like a train driver from city that I missed this part, so I feel a little stupid about that. But so we're not getting any more city minifigures this year. Although I guess we have 10, so it's probably okay. There's some questions about underwater, because they mentioned in the interview they want to do some stuff about underwater. Can you expand upon this? Not yet. We just started exploration for it. And after space and raids, will underwater be the next big thing? Kinda. So I don't know. That means they're kind of working on it, or if it will be the next thing, because they're not doing city, I guess. Well, they're not releasing anything new for city. They might still rework them, so I don't know. Will there be any additional variations or changes to Time Quest? Yes. Somebody want to know, was the intended player response to Time Quest and what's being done to incentivize actually playing the game? The intended response was to supplement players with more rewards by just playing the game. There are some Time Quests that also provide more access to minifigures. We also will have much more challenging Time Quests intended for mid to late game that provide really nice tiles, more to come. Which sounds nice, but I want to see them actually make a way for it to be kind of hard and not just like spend some more money. Use a insane amount of energy or something like that. Like actually hard to accomplish and not just spend some stuff or hoard. My own personal preference though for there. And here's just some off-topic questions, or I guess questions about space, but already kind of answered by the earlier stuff. Somebody want to know if M-Tron, Galaxy Squad, or Space Police 3 characters or sets to be added in this update. Nope, not yet, but he would love to see some Space Police, which I would be a fan of too. It's me asking about Mars Mission for probably the 10th time, so I started doing it creatively. Really, Space Updates doesn't feature any Mars Mission yet, but I'll be able to move another theme from the first column of my table down here, which is just Blacktron here, because this is Blacktron Futures Generations logo, and this is Blacktron, the original logo. So this is Dwayne, this is Quincy, so I'll be able to move this over here, I guess in both columns, because we're getting a set too. Although I would love it maybe if we meant something else, but sadly this is one, although this is also a weird one where it's like, I felt kind of bad including some of these duplicates on here, but like Space Police 3 is really different than Space Police 2 or Space Police 1. Blacktron 1 and Blacktron 2 are kind of similar, but that's why I included them multiple times on here if anybody was wondering. If anybody ever saw this floating around, this is for me. Somebody kind of made show what sets are not in, or what themes are not in the game, what themes are in the game with a figure, and what themes are in the game with a set. So sadly, this update's only letting me move one. It still sounds like a decent update, but I really wish I could move like a couple of these and not exactly be one we already have over here, but just like a different generation of it. Would love maybe some UFO, even though that's a prequel to Insectoids, or Sectoids is a sequel to it, it's not a prequel. Or maybe some M-Tron, something cool like that. Mars Mission, obviously. Galaxy Squad, oh yes. City Space, yes. Just a bunch of cool things like that. But I just want to include that in there for clarification to that little question. And there's just some different, like, assorted questions here. What was the Gameloft and dev team decided to roll out? Raids, obviously, is kind of a really big thing, and it's kind of the biggest thing for this. Well, they'll say one thing you're most excited to introduce with raids. They're pretty excited about a few new raids to fight, like a boss fight, and they just really like having some more goals to be completed as a guild. How did the Ghostbusters event do versus your expectations? They like to see a rush of new players. They would like it to be a little higher, although I felt bad for first thing I saw or thought of when I read that was, you should have chose something other than Ghostbusters. I'm sorry, I like the Ghostbusters, but the Ghostbusters isn't exactly something like, yeah! Although I feel really bad for y'all, because there was supposed to be a movie releasing around that time that would probably get more people excited for Ghostbusters, and that did not happen. It was a unique opportunity for them to try this takeover format. There were some good things and some that they want to improve on. At least for now, what's cool is that it made us decide to be more transparent with the events and time-limited quests. You can give a calendar to anticipate what's coming, when, and have these events rotate more often as they're faster to unlock for everyone. So I guess have them more events repeat. So maybe you hopefully see some double events at some point. Might be kind of cool. And just any of the thoughts about gear trading. It's on the backlog, but keeps getting pushed for other stuff. They haven't forgotten about it. It's just not the highest priority right now. Some person just kept asking a question about Master Store and Master Tile format, if it was going to change. No Master Store changes, but they are very closely monitoring both Willa and Catastrophe's accessibility within the game. There's not much of it, so I don't know what they're exactly monitoring. No, not too many people have it, but they're monitoring it. And then somebody was talking about this poll about the twice a day reset thing for the weekly events. So Peg Leg's Treasure, and he was kind of joking some stuff about that. But he said seriously, they already said the poll was just about not looting the event twice, not losing rewards. They got the answer they needed though. Players don't seem to care about it as long as they don't lose resources, so it's something they can consider for the future. Not worked on yet, so sadly it's not being fixed for the people that are kind of screwed over right now. But for now, the arena payout is the next thing they're fixing with the space update, although I feel like the people not being able to loot Peg Leg twice a day, or twice each week, screws you over more than a bad arena payout, personally. Somebody was wanting to know if there's any PvP updates or additions, and they said in the space update, 2 changes done to payouts. I'm not sure what all that means. They mentioned there was going to be a change to payout, but I don't know about 2 changes to payout, so I'm really curious about that. Somebody was talking about a bounty event requesting that, like if you kill Scarlet, you get something or whatever. They said that's a good deal, they're writing that down. I'm kind of interested in this, but Scarlet's not one that's super easy to find. I guess you can find her in maybe high level arena, but it's not like I can just go to Glyph Hunt 5, 6 and fight some more Scarlet so I can defeat her 25 times like you might could a whole bunch of other minifigures. That's the only kind of problem I have with that, but it's maybe another interesting idea. Might could be a little bit of a hard thing. It's defeat X number of foes in arena or something like that. And something here about fixing Winston's taunt. Doesn't give a hardy 100% of the time killing 5 courage stacks, and they fixed it, and that will be in the space update. So anybody who has Winston and have all that stuff set up on him, that will now work properly next update. And then somebody was wondering if we get more buildings and signposts to expand Pip Town, and that's part of the design, but they have only so much space, so they're holding off on it right now because they're being kind of careful. They won't add too many extra things. I guess they're kind of combining some things in one sign or whatever. Somebody was asking here about Worm. I think if he was going to get added as a reward minifigure from the raid. He is their creation, not an official minifigure from LEGO. He's thus not really a priority to be playable for now. Plus, it was our intention to keep him discreet in the game's narration for a few years before they might decide to, although they might decide to change that. They might get him official with LEGO. That would be the dream. And somebody was asking, do y'all actually read suggestions in the chat? And they said yes, every night before bed. So that is it for this Q&A. Lots of big things, some kind of cool stuff. Sounds like, and this is my kind of headcanon, or how I believe the events are going to go. I believe we're going to get Primo Master Event next week, next Friday most likely, and it will run for, I guess, 9 days. Kind of wish the Master Events might be a little bit shorter, but probably 9-10 days, run to the next Sunday. Then after that, sometime we'll get the update. The first event after that update will be the Blacktron 2 Brick Paste with Quincy, which will have a new Blacktron set, Quincy, and regular Blacktron Dwayne. Then after that, I think we're going to get the Clockwork Robot Unboxed event. So you'll have that for 9 days as well. And then after that, we're going to have the raids get released, and that's going to kind of be our event for a bit. And we'll get the new space minifigure maybe from that, maybe some gold. Well, I don't know, they haven't really clarified that, but that'll also be after they do an actual raids update, so we might not have that done in time. Maybe we get another rerun. Jay could come first if the raid event isn't actually ready on time, just kind of to hold us over. If not, and it's actually done on time, I'm expecting we'll get the J rerun after that. Maybe then a Woo rerun after that. So that should be well into October probably by then. Maybe we'll get Woo first, but I can't believe we should get J before we get Woo, because J's supposed to rerun more than Woo. And then sometime by the end of that, we'll get a new Master Store minifigure. Maybe we'll get another rerun before then. We're also supposed to get Non-Such at some point, so maybe he'll be back. Because I thought they said at one point they wanted to include him somehow with the Tyranny of Justice brick paste, but I don't know. Depends how they rework that. So that's just how I think the event cadence is going to be for the next month or so. Don't hold me to that. All that stuff is subject to change. Also depends if they can actually get this stuff and release it on time for those different things, because they're still working on some of these things, so there's no guarantee when all this stuff will be released. Those are just the plans they have and how I think it all kind of falls together. So with that, it's Tutorial Gripply. Thank you for watching this, and I hope this has been actually helpful for you to let you know what all was discussed during today's Q&A. Goodbye and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, and I'll see you next patch notes.